The sun had barely risen over the quiet town of Willow Creek when Liam, a young mechanic with oil-stained hands and a heart bigger than his tiny garage, opened the doors for another day of work. Life had never been easy for him. He lived paycheck to paycheck, fixing cars for people who could barely afford the service. Yet, Liam had a gift. He treated every car as if it were a lifeline for its owner, and every person with the same care he'd wish for himself. Across town, in a mansion that sparkled like a jewel, lived Emily, a brilliant young woman trapped inside her wheelchair. A car accident had taken her mobility, leaving her with a body that refused to cooperate with her mind. Her mother, Mrs. Langston, a poised woman accustomed to luxury and control, had tried every expensive treatment, every specialist, every gadget money could buy, but nothing restored Emily's independence. Fate, as it often does, works in mysterious ways. One evening, Emily's wheelchair broke down in the driveway, leaving her stranded and frustrated. With a sigh, Mrs. Langston called the nearest repair service, expecting an expensive quote or a polite refusal. Instead, a young man named Liam arrived within the hour, wearing a worn-out jacket and a determined smile. He knelt beside the wheelchair, examining every wheel, every joint, with an intensity that spoke of both skill and empathy. "I think I can fix this," he said quietly, though Emily's mother's doubt was visible in her sharp, skeptical gaze. Little did she know, Liam's hands were about to do more than repair metal. They were about to give her daughter hope. Hours passed, and Liam worked tirelessly in the Langston driveway, his fingers moving deftly, his eyes scanning for hidden problems. He noticed the wheelchair was not just old, it was customized poorly after Emily's accident, making every movement a struggle. He didn't complain. He didn't charge extra. He simply worked. Emily watched him in silence, a mix of curiosity and despair in her eyes. She had seen countless people give up on her, and even wealth couldn't buy the warmth she longed for. But Liam's patience, his quiet dedication, began to chip away at her skepticism. For the first time in years, she felt seen. Mrs. Langston hovered nearby, checking her expensive watch. "He's just a mechanic," she muttered, her tone laced with disbelief. What could he possibly do that hundreds of doctors and machines couldn't? As Liam tightened the last bolt and adjusted the brakes, Emily's wheelchair sprang to life in a way it hadn't in years. The wheels rolled smoothly, the seat tilted naturally, and even the custom controls responded to her slightest touch. She tentatively moved forward, then backward, laughing through tears she didn't know she could feel. Mrs. Langston, stunned, rushed over. This is impossible," she whispered, touching the wheelchair, touching Emily. Liam simply shrugged, wiping his hands on his ragged jacket. "I just did what I had to do," he said, a humble smile spreading across his face. But the miracle wasn't just mechanical. In that moment, Emily realized something deeper. Hope could come from the most unexpected places. The day's miracle didn't end there. Seeing Emily maneuver her wheelchair with newfound ease, Mrs. Langston's emotions broke through her composed exterior. She felt a surge of gratitude, but also guilt. Her life of wealth had shielded her from the simple truth: compassion and skill often outshine money. "Liam, I don't know how to thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "You've given my daughter something I thought even my fortune couldn't buy." Liam smiled gently. "You don't have to. Seeing her like this, it's enough." But as the Langstons offered him a generous payment, Liam shook his head. "I can't accept this," he said. "I have my own life to live. I'm just happy I could help." Mrs. Langston's tears flowed freely now, mixing relief, joy, and admiration. She saw in Liam something far more valuable than money: integrity, dedication, and love for humanity. She realized that Emily's miracle was not just the wheelchair, it was a lesson in humility, gratitude, and the transformative power of kindness. Later that evening, as Liam packed up to leave, Emily called out softly, "Wait, can I see you again?" Liam turned, his face lighting up. "Of course. I'll always be around if you need me." In the days that followed, the Langstons invited Liam over, not just for repairs but to spend time, to share stories, and to bridge the gap between wealth and heart. Emily's laughter, once rare, filled the mansion. The house was no longer just walls and luxury, it was alive with joy, trust, and connection. Weeks later, Mrs. Langston sat by Emily's side, watching her whirl through the garden with a confidence that made her chest ache with pride. "You know," she said softly, tears glistening, "I thought money could fix everything. But today, I learned that heart, skill, and kindness, they can move mountains." Emily smiled at Liam, who had become a frequent visitor, guiding her gently, laughing with her, teaching her patience and resilience. "He's my hero," Emily whispered, gripping her mother's hand. "Not because he fixed my wheelchair, but because he believed in me." Mrs. Langston pulled Liam aside that evening. "You've changed our lives," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "I want you to know that your kindness will never be forgotten. You've shown me that humanity is worth more than all the wealth in the world." Liam shook his head humbly. "I just did what anyone should do," he said. "We all have the power to help someone. That's the real miracle." The Langston mansion, once a place of luxury without warmth, had transformed. Emily's laughter echoed through the halls, her confidence blossomed, and her mother's heart softened. Liam returned to his humble garage, yet he carried with him a gratitude and love far richer than any paycheck could provide. In that quiet town, a poor mechanic had given more than a repaired wheelchair, he had given hope, joy, and a profound reminder that true wealth lies in generosity, compassion, and the courage to believe in others. And in the end, that miracle, born of humanity, created a bond that money could never buy.